Good morning, Derek. Good morning, Mark. Good morning. Good morning, fellas. It really is a pretty day here. Yeah, a lot different than the last couple of days. No snow, no rain, and pretty sunshine. But it's still a touch cold. Derek, I had a terrible day yesterday. I shouldn't say terrible. I didn't feel well all day yesterday. Yeah, I'll tell you guys. Buenos dias, feliz viernes. Good morning, happy Friday. You too, Corey. You two nerds. It was rough. Yesterday, after our program, I ran a couple of errands. I was back within the hour. Of course, had to give Ruff his ride. So we went off and did a couple of errands, came back. And I pretty much went to bed for the rest of the day. Excuse me. Pretty much went back to bed and said, I don't think I can do much today. I'm not much good today. Had oatmeal for dinner. Oh, Jessie girl, this was something made by Gypsy in Arizona. That's petrified wood for the desk. And I don't know if you can tell, but that's a miniature copy of the Four Agreements. Miniature copy of the Four Agreements right there on the desk. Isn't that cute? Good morning. So I was just mentioning I felt so terrible yesterday when I got home and after just a couple hours running 2 missions, and I went straight to bed and didn't look at anything. So if I did not reply to any emails or messages or anything like that yesterday, I apologize, and I'll try to get to them this morning. Okay? Paparoo was not feeling goodaroo, so he crash-arooed. Self-care. Something I'm not very good at. Okay. Pigs, I gotta do a little bit better job on that. I was telling Nurse, the firesider, I'm out. I drank it down good. Thank you. I did not forget it. And I did use the balm a couple of days ago. My fingers were feeling crunchy. Nurse, send me more. Send me another 1 or 2, and I'll send you a little 1 or 2. I'll trade you. I have a feeling that helped. Pacers, good morning. Opened the box from you. I'm going to get a sugar high later on. Thank you, my good friend. That was very, very sweet and very kind of you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, Hakes, I'll trade her. Jessie girl, I have not. No, not yet. Thank you. I'll mention it here if I do, when I do. Okay? I want to show you guys something. Instead of Pops doing rando hackos, here's going to be your hacks for today. Okay? I'm going to give you guys your hacks for the day. Right here. Oops. Here we go. I'll give you your hacks right now. Okay, pay attention. You guys have to pay attention.
Some things that are not comfortable for what.
Here we go. Some great tips.
Like, that's awesome. Here's one. If you're tired at work, set up a ladder and take a nap at its base. If you get caught, you can say you fell off the ladder and lost consciousness. If you're When you rob a store, get a very visible temporary tattoo. When witnesses are asked to describe the robber, they will most likely remember the tattoo, something you don't really have. When you that's awesome. Here's one. If you're tired at work, set up a ladder and take a nap at its base. If you get caught, you can say you fell off the ladder and lost consciousness. If you're I actually love this. They're so great.
If you want to trespass onto someone's property, bring a dog leash with you. If someone asks why you're there, just tell them your dog ran off and you're trying to find it. If you
the best. This is like CIA tricks. Like, this is really good stuff. You want a couple more?
Yes.
All right, here you go.
If you want to bury a dead body, simply bury it 9 feet deep. Then place a dead animal 4 feet above it. This way, if a police dog smells something unusual, they will only find the dead animal.
That's good. That's pretty good.
To skip class, wait for the break and hide your bag somewhere. Then when you have to go back to class, go to the teacher and explain that your school bag has disappeared and that someone probably took it as a bad joke. Now he will let you look for your things, and you can even ask your best friend to accompany you in the search. So tag him in the comments.
It's pretty great. What account is this? I think it's called Tipper. Tipper. When you rob a store, get a very visible temporary tattoo. When witnesses are asked to describe the robber, they will most likely remember the tattoo, something you don't really have. When you that's awesome. Here's one. If you're tired at work, set up a ladder and take a nap at its base. If you get caught, you can say you fell off the ladder and lost consciousness. If you're I actually love this. They're so great.
If you want to trespass onto someone's property, bring a dog leash with you. If someone asks why you're there, just tell them your dog ran off and you're trying to find it. If you
it's the best. This is like CIA tricks. Like, this is really good stuff. You want a couple more?
Yes.
All right, here you go.
If you want to bury a dead body, simply bury it 9 feet deep. Then place a dead animal 4 feet above it. This way, if a police dog smells something unusual, they will only find the dead animal.
That's good. That's pretty good.
To skip class, wait for the break and hide your bag somewhere. Then when you have to go back to class, go to the teacher and explain that your school bag has disappeared and that someone probably took it as a bad joke. Now he will let you look for your things, and you can even ask your best friend to accompany you in the search. So tag him in the comments.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good. I like the latter one. I like the one where you climb, you take your nap right next to the ladder. They shake you awake. Like, wow, I must have fallen off the ladder. You're going to get an insurance claim here. I wonder if I should do an insurance claim, or should I just finish the nap, sir? Nurse, you live in a scary place. Did you guys read Nurse's comment? You want to get rid of a dead body? Just leave it by her river, she said. Next thing you know, the wild hogs will take care of it. I wouldn't trust them. They're going to leave a shoe or something. Guaranteed they're going to leave a shoe. Or a gold ring. There's some way Columbo will catch you. Don't do that. Columbo. What's Pops? 1982? Columbo. They used to love that guy. What are we doing here? So again, I wasn't feeling great yesterday. After the program, I took off, got Ruffy his ride as he needs it, and took care of a couple of messages. Hey, still watches Columbo. I love Columbo. Excuse me, ma'am. Call me, with this half-lit cigar. Ma'am, just one more thing, ma'am. I was thinking, ma'am. I was recalling that when you mentioned your cousin, just one more thing that troubles me, ma'am. Higgs and I used to sit on the couch and watch that together. Higgs and I used to watch that. The great part about the writing of that one is the people know they're busted about halfway through the show. They're already busted and they know it. But they're still trying to outthink this little Rumpelstiltskin. Right? They still think they're going to outthink him, and we as the audience know Columbo's on to him. Columbo's got you. He's going to get you like a little bulldog. Okay? It's all part of the show. It's like the people know they're busted, and Columbo's on to them. Excuse me, there's one more thing that troubled me, ma'am. You guys that didn't see Columbo back in the day, Corey, you're right. Columbo drove a Rolls Canardly. Pretty sure Columbo's car was a Rolls Canardly. Okay. That was a good show. We might be a little short show today because I have something to do. So if we end up cutting it a little bit short this morning, that won't be a bad thing today. Kojak wasn't bad either, to be honest with you. Kojak and his lollipop. Yeah, I kind of liked Kojak now that you mention it. And at first I wasn't going to like it. I mean, who's this bald-headed, lollipop eating? But Kojak had a heart. Kojak had a pretty good heart. Yeah, Higgs, right? Remember when we watched Kojak? Good call. Telly Savalas. Always wore his overcoat, his hat. Murder, She Wrote was for kids. Murder, She Wrote was for kids. Silly kids. Beretta, Roy, not bad. Roy, Beretta, not bad. Beretta with the cockatoo bird. What did he name his bird, you guys? What was his bird's name? What was his name? And then didn't he had the guy on the street, Cockatoo Barney. Are you sure it was Barney? And then he had the guy on the street. Magnum PI was okay. I liked Magnum PI just because it was in Hawaii. And they flew around in a helicopter. Higgs thinks it was Fred. Magnum PI wasn't bad. Kolchak was a good one. Didn't last long. Kolchak was a smaller subgroup of Kojak. Right? Beretta, though. Beretta. Fred sounds right. I wonder what its name was. You guys are making me think this morning. I'm trying to think of, now it's coming, I'm drawing a blank. Right, Mark? One season only. I'm drawing a blank. Oh, I love The Wonder Years, Marvel. I loved The Wonder Years. Personally, I liked Miami Vice. Beretta's bird was named Fred. Okay, good call. Good call. What was the name of, who was the actor? Bobby, who was the actor, Beretta, that did Beretta? Blake. Robert Blake. True story. True story. This, you ready for this one? Robert Blake turned out to be kind of a, well, we don't know. I'm not going to gossip. But didn't he shoot the one lady in the car outside a restaurant? He went down the street, told her wait, and he went and got a gun out of his car. It was the mother of his kid. Yeah, and he was acquitted. Remember that story? That happened about 3 blocks from where I lived at the time. I lived about 3 blocks away from that restaurant. True story. I also lived about 3 blocks away from the restaurant that Goldman, the O.J. Simpson murder, where he killed his wife and he killed Ron Goldman, where Goldman worked. Goldman was like a waiter there. I never remember seeing him. I don't know if I might have gone in that restaurant one time. But back to Bobby Blake, Robert Blake. True story. Hamilton High School, which is, back in the day there was Hollywood High, and you either went to Hollywood High because you were more of a movie star address, or right next to it, the next high school was Hamilton High. Hamilton. My mom went to Hamilton High. Guess who she dated in high school? Robert Blake. My mom dated Robert Blake in high school. They went out for like half a year together. Back when he was cute and played the guitar. One of the best movies ever is In Cold Blood with Robert Blake. Amazing. First, the book's amazing, but then the movie. Woo! Good movie, well done. But our claim to fame, we'd all sit around and say, you know, that guy could have been our dad. But thank God he wasn't. Thank God he wasn't. And we wouldn't even, of course, you wouldn't even be the same person. But can you imagine a bunch of kids sitting around, you know, that could have been our dad. Of all dads, could have been a Robert Blake could have been our dad. He would have been a cool dad when he's Beretta, but not when he was shooting his wife. Dodged a bullet there, Derek. Okay. Anyways, weird topic, but I like some of those old, I like Rockford Files. Give me 5 people that liked Rockford Files. Who didn't want to live in his trailer on the cliff by the ocean? My gosh, I don't want a 5,000 square foot house. I want to live in Rockford's trailer. Okay? Rockford's trailer is where I want to live. Rockford, right? We're going back, you guys. We're going way back. Seen elsewhere, Hill Street Blues was the Ridge. Hill Street Blues was one of the Ridge police stories. That was really good. And the very first Law and Order, remember that? Now it's Law and Order everywhere. But Rockford Files was good, right, Oreo? Jim Rockford. I like James Garner. I'll tell you what was really good, and you guys will remember this one. Remember the series? It was a limited series. The Wire. The Wire. Remember that one? Another one. Pops lived everywhere. A lot of that was shot in Fells Point in Baltimore, which is right on the Chesapeake Bay, right where Baltimore touches the bay. Fells Point is the community right there. I lived in Fells Point, not while they were filming it earlier, and then later on, right now, one of my nephews lives in Fells Point. So you can see some of the look that they shoot for the Wire show, Baltimore. Boy, was that a groundbreaking series. Nobody had shot film like that and dialogue like that. It was a firstie. It was a firstie, and I got thirsty. Watch out for overstimulation. Fells Point is a party haze. Why do you think Pops lived there? There's a reason Pops lived there. Okay. If psychedelics already dial up sensory processing, the neurodivergence turns it up to an 11. People with neurodivergence issues. As Amy Brooks explains, neurodivergence can intensify the brain's existing patterns across many variables, such as sensory and cognitive processing, emotional regulation, social needs, and even medication interactions. What this means is that neurodivergent minds may become extra sensitive to stimuli during a psychedelic experience. I'm going to put that in the, it probably didn't take a lot of study to figure that one out. Sarah Call advises that music that feels soothing to others can become overwhelming or distracting, even if it's a playlist that the person normally loves. Here we go, Kim. Carrie Rowe La Frambeau adds that certain textures and smells can cause unnecessary distress during a trip. Neurodivergent minds. We're talking about people with autism, Asperger's, other minor mental disorders. But the senses don't always get loud. Avery Colora points out that for some neurodivergent people, psychedelics amplify sensory input. For others, yes, Oreo, those are included. For others, they soften, overwhelm, and create unexpected clarity. After all, not all neurodivergent people are the same by definition. The medicine adapts. Several practitioners explicitly stated that neurodivergence isn't a problem to be fixed. This came up as I'm learning my facilitator courses. And obviously, if we're going to be guides or coaches or facilitators of any kind, we have to understand that we're dealing with lots of different people across the spectrum. And how do you deal with people? Do you just cut them off, say, no, you're at this point on the spectrum, and we're not going to medicate you and work with you? Or can just about anybody be worked with? That's the context for what I'm reading to you. Clara McKinley gets explicit and specific. Thank you for this, Oreo. ADHD folks may move quickly between insights or sensations. They may struggle to settle or feel impulsive to make changes, while autistic clients often experience heightened sensory sensitivity or a more literal, focused internal process. Thank you for sharing that, Jesse. Oksana Kirasanova notices a similar pattern. ADHD may bring faster thought patterns or shifting insights before settling into clarity. Ben Askin takes his typical poetic approach. The medicine doesn't judge the circuitry. It dances with it. Let's all be more like the medicine, people. Let's be more like the medicine. The medicine doesn't judge the circuitry. It dances with it. That's a top-notch statement right there. Get personalized support. There's no question that neurodivergent people can benefit from psychedelics, but a thoughtfully designed setting may be especially important for this population. Sarah paints the vision. With the right setting, familiar comforts, and thoughtful support, neurodivergent people, have a great day, Mark. Neurodivergent people often access profound insights, vivid inner landscapes, and deeply spiritual experiences. We don't want to rob them of that just because we've classified them somehow. We want to find a way to provide that kind of an experience. Profound insights, vivid inner landscapes, and deeply spiritual experiences. That's what the medicine's about. I try not to sell something that people party with, but they use as a spiritual tool. Avery suggests the experience should be tailored to the client's needs. Duh. Neurodivergence does not make psychedelic work unsafe. It just means the map might look different. Clara agrees. With solid rapport, clear structure, and an attuned guide, neurodivergent people can have incredibly meaningful journeys. Pacing, safety, regulation, and integration support make the biggest difference. Wallace sums up the approach. Good psychedelic care includes being curious about how one's brain, body, and sensory system move through the world, and then creating the preparation to integration path around that. That's a message for anyone, neurodivergent or otherwise. I hope you guys are liking this topic. It's something that needed to be talked about. Not a single guide said neurodivergence was a hard contradiction for psychedelics. Good news, right? We love the inclusive spirit. And generally we agree. But we'd be remiss if we didn't address the term neurodivergent, because it can mean many different things to different people. So let's be specific. While ADHD, autism, OCD, and other forms can be navigated safely with the right preparation in certain conditions. There are certain conditions like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder which require potentially more caution. If you have a personal or family history of psychosis, that's nothing to take lightly. Talk to a psychedelic literate healthcare provider before you go rogue. As for the rest of you, the medicine doesn't need you to be normal. After all, what does that mean? Just be honest about what you need. Okay, you guys are getting a little crazy on your messaging there. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for letting me touch that topic. When we started, we thought legal psilocybin therapy was a pipe dream. Not today. Not anymore. Today, Oregon and Colorado both have state-regulated programs with licensed facilitators operating above board. There's about 12 more states that are currently having legislation in front of their state assemblies working on legalizing psilocybin and other psychoactive compounds for most specifically therapeutic use, but eventually general use. The thing is, it's well on its way. Michigan is already decriminalizing zones in the state. We're not going to spend money chasing that issue because it's not an issue in our state. People here have taken mushrooms for decades, and that has never been a legal problem here. It's never been a crime problem. So it costs us more money to chase down the randos than it's even worth. And our budgets, we're going to stick with the murderers. We're going to go after the real criminals in our society. Michigan's doing a really good job. Michigan's on its way. What an incredible timeline we're living through. Now, you just have the problem of picking the right provider for you. Althea has a directory that includes every licensed center and facilitator in both the states of Oregon and Colorado. So you can sift through detailed profiles, check reviews, and make an informed choice about who guides your journey. Althea, Althea. They have a directory. You're looking for an online guide? Go to Althea, look at their directory, and start making some choices based off of the information provided there. One of these days, if you pursue your career, your picture is going to end up in one of those directories, along with a resume, as it were, of your potential to be a very helpful facilitator. Quite a neat job, quite a neat opportunity is coming up for us. Think about that. You'll be able to work from home, your home office. I suggest you get a lab coat. No, do your thing. Some of you may put feathers in your hair. You know, you're going to do it your way. Okay? Lab coat. Pops! Next week, feathers in my hair. Okay? Next week, I'm going to put feathers in my hair. Jesus Christ, can sit around in a cape, looking like a vampire. How many of you see yourself, rooster feathers, Nippy? That's hilarious. How will I know they're not hen feathers? How will I know? You could slip a hen feather in on me. How many of you consider yourself either you already are a sage or you're a sage in training? Let me read a definition for the word sage. Are you a sage now? Or either one. You a sage now, or do you consider yourself a sage in training? Sage refers to a person. It generally implies wisdom, someone known for profound wisdom, good judgment, and experience. Often an elder. Okay? How many of you consider yourself a sage? Good morning, Jack Lantern. We're being sagey here. What are we congratulating Jack for? Congratulations, Jack. Hope your baby comes out. Everything's gonna be great. Everything's gonna be great. Congratulations, Jack and baby Jack. Or baby Jacqueline. Congratulations. I'm gonna read the 49th verse from the Tao, otherwise known as the path or the way. Or if you can mentally envision what I do, I just see energy. Every piece of energy in nature. The energy of water rippling, the energy of wind blowing, the energy of rain dropping onto the ground and splatting, the energy of spores turning into mycelium, and then making this mycelium cake area, and then it reaches the sun, and just a little mist over the mountains, and poof, a little mushroom fruit grows. All of that's happening as a result of Tao. The energy to create all of that. It's the energy of creation and existence in balance. 49th verse. The sage has no fixed mind. He is aware of the needs of others. This is you I'm talking about. You're the sage. You want to be a sage. Because that means you're providing wisdom and guidance to people on the planet. What a profound purpose. Compared to being here to get, you are transforming yourself to be a person that's here to give. Your whole perspective on everything changes. If you say, I'm here to be a giver. How do I do that? How do I have a profound purpose? It doesn't need to be specific either. You'll find the specific path of giving that works best for you. The sage has no fixed mind. He is aware of the needs of others. Those who are good, he treats with goodness. Those who are bad, he treats like shit. Do you think that was the next line? Are you guys paying attention? Was that the correct next line? How many people think what I just read was accurate? Those who are good, he treats with goodness. Those who are bad, he treats like shit. Would that be accurate? Is that sagey? My eggs, what? Do you guys think that's the correct next line? Or did I try to slip one in there on you? Okay, at least the kids in the front of the class are paying attention. At least the kids in the front are... Pops, what did you just say? No, Pops, no. That isn't what it says. Let's go over. Let's start again. Okay? Those who are good, he treats with goodness. Those who are bad, he also treats with goodness. Because the nature of his being is good. He is kind to the kind. He is also kind to the unkind. Because the nature of his being is kindness. He is faithful to the faithful. He is also faithful to the unfaithful. The sage lives in harmony with all below heaven. He sees everything as his own self. He loves everyone as his own child. All people are drawn to him. He behaves like a little child. That's the end of the verse. You know, it's okay to behave like a little child, too. Have you guys ever seen Pops behave like a child? In this gently powerful verse, we're encouraged to change the way we view virtually everyone on the planet. Lao Tzu saw the potential for existing harmoniously through living beyond judgment. Thus, this 49th verse of the Tao Te Ching invites us to explore that peaceful world. It's encouraging us to replace our ideas of criticizing them with an acknowledgement of us without criticism. Imagine the possibilities for all humanity if we simply eliminated prejudice and could live in harmony with all below heaven. You can begin changing your view of judgment. This is beautiful. This lines up with what I try to talk to us about neuro-linguistic programming. Change words. Change words. Use different words in your mental vocabulary and then in your impeccable vocabulary to be positive and non-linear. Non-linear, win, lose, good, bad, pretty, ugly. Nature doesn't see that. Nature doesn't see it's either an A or a Z. It's either a black or a white. Nature paints with the most beautiful palette. She doesn't judge who she's raining on. She doesn't judge who gets to pick her mushrooms up off of the ground. They're there for anybody that walks by and wants them. She doesn't judge. She doesn't look at things in a linear way. That's man-made. We have done that. We watched our teachers, our parents, our pastors, the people we admire. We've watched them, and we have patterned ourselves in behavior after them, which is linear. Because we're not watching nature. If we stopped and said, no, wait a minute. I learned that from my dad. What would nature do instead? I learned that from priest so-and-so. That doesn't line up with what I'm seeing in nature. You can begin changing your view of judgment as a valuable or important activity by being aware of when you're doing it to yourself. Then simply start substituting notice for judging from this perspective. You'll realize pretty quickly that you prefer to observe what you're doing or feeling rather than critiquing yourself. Calling your behavior bad or good, listen. This is brilliant. The sage is telling us something here. Calling your behavior bad or good. We do it all the time. Oh, that was good. I did good. Oh, I did bad. I good. Good, bad. We can't help it. We're constantly saying it about ourselves first. Yeah, well, I was good at that. I'm bad at this. Bad, good, bad. What's our brain constantly hearing? Linear judgment. Are you guys catching any of this? Help me out here. That's what the verbal diet we feed ourselves. Calling your behavior bad or good just pits you against yourself and others by using competition, punishment, or dislike as your motivational markers. Hatred, anger, and threats become necessary because love, acceptance, and kindness can't be trusted. As you move away from judging yourself, you'll no longer need what Lao Tzu calls the fixed mind. Thus, allegiances that pitted you against the people you thought of as them will begin to dissolve. I want to read that sentence again. Allegiances that pitted you against the people you thought of as them will begin to dissolve. Could you imagine if all allegiances across the planet Earth dissolved? There was no them, but a grand us. No United States. That's allegiances. And then the red and blue ones in there, the dumb politics. Pitting each other against each other. From the most powerful pulpit on the planet Earth, we're hearing the most disgusting things being said to another human being. I can't imagine. I'm not going to be political, I swear, which means I am. I can't imagine using that pulpit to call someone a piggy. I'm not talking about his politics and the work he does. Separate issue. Talking about the presentation of the mouth saying these things. Deliberate divisiveness. Leaders of the world. We have others over in Europe and Central Asia. Nightly drone attacks on each other. We're having peace talks, but before we show up tomorrow morning at 8, let's send 700 drones over Kiev and bomb hospitals and schools. Oh, we have a ceasefire going on in Gaza, but we're still killing 10 people a day there. Allegiances. And nobody says anything about it. Nobody does anything about it. We just, oh, well, yeah, that's humans. That's what we do. It's not what we have to do. We can do so much better. Some of us have allegiances in our own families. 3 sisters against 1. Some of you have allegiances in your own family. Cut off that person. Last 2 weeks ago, I found out I got allegianced. Cut off. There's some work to do to become a sage in that situation. In our own families. It's so normal. We've seen it all our lives. We haven't seen this, though. We haven't seen, but those who are bad, he treats with goodness. We haven't seen, he is also kind to the unkind. We haven't seen, he's also faithful to the... I'm getting carried away, Pops. We haven't seen that he's faithful to the unfaithful. He sees everything as his own self. I'm not going to cut my hand off. I'm not that dumb. I don't burn my hand on the stove. But I don't have a problem if you do. He sees everything as his own self. Treat everybody as you would treat yourself. Judge everybody as you would judge yourself. But you're judging yourself bad and good too often. You're judging yourself fat and skinny. You're judging yourself dumb and smart. If you're judging yourself, you're automatically going to judge others. We have to eliminate the judge. When we eliminate the judge internally to ourselves, I've been preaching to you guys all this week about greatness. You are great. I didn't mention any of your physical attributes. I mentioned your internal core. All people are drawn to him, and he behaves like a child. Why? Because children are innocent until we start programming them. They don't look at me and don't gaga goo at me because I've done X and Y and Z in my life. Every single little head that looks into their crib and pinches their cheek, they're just in wonderment and awe and learning and go, oh my God, who is this magnificent creature standing over my crib, treating me with goodness and kindness? When was the last time you thought of yourself as a baby in a crib? And to treat people that way. Treat yourself that way. Remember that you're just a baby in a crib. You really were a good person. You really were pure. You really weren't judging. You sure weren't calling yourself any names. Allegiances that pitted you against the people you thought of as them will begin to dissolve. The innumerable categories that help you organize your labels become totally superfluous and unimportant when you change the way you look at their so-called value. In spite of having been conditioned by the country you were born in, this is all what I just said. The religion you were assigned at birth, the culture you were immersed in, or even the family who raised you, living beyond judgment becomes your preference. Despite all of that, I prefer to live without judgment. You exist in harmony with the Tao that excludes no one and has no concept of divisions and loyalties. The oneness of the Tao entices you away from any belief that others are separate. This is a basic solution of wars and conflicts. You see, when you stop judging and instead begin to see yourself in others, you can't help but love the uniqueness of everyone, as though they were your own children. Then instead of exclusions and allegiances, the oneness of the path graces all, unimpeded. Rather than God bless America, Allah save our people, or Krishna bless those who believe in you, we could be saying, God bless humanity. Let me do all that I can to treat everyone, without exception, with goodness and kindness, as all of those whom we revere as spiritual masters taught us by their example. As your worldview changes, you'll extend goodness to everyone you encounter. You'll find that you can't feel non-judgmental compassion for the mistreated, even when their way of seeing things causes you and pain. You can send out kindness, not only in response to kindness, but especially in the receipt of cruelty. Almost anybody can respond to kindness with kindness. Not that we all do by any means. But I would say it's easier to respond to kindness with kindness. But now receive some cruelty and still respond with kindness. You're on your way. That's the path. That's the Tao. Responding to cruelty with kindness. This world is cruel. Immensely cruel. Causes pain everywhere. I'm not going to respond by causing more. I need to choose to respond to cruelty, whether it's individually to me or as I see it, with kindness. This lines up perfectly with the second agreement, too. I don't take it personal. It's not about me. The cruelty is about the cruel person and their issues. The cruel circumstance, not me. I'm embodiment of kindness. I want you guys to hold on to this, grab it for the weekend. Respond with kindness to all things. It said it way back here. He is kind to the kind. He is also unkind. Excuse me. I did it again. He is kind to the kind. He is also kind to the unkind. Because the nature of his being is kindness. And I believe the nature of our being is kindness. I believe I'm tapping into the nature of my being. The nature of my being is not to be cruel. It's not to go seek and destroy. The nature of my kindness is to love and help and support and serve. That's my nature. I'm tapping in. I'm preferring to experience and give my nature into the Tao. The nature of your being is kindness. It's impossible to give to others what you are not. And you are not judgmental. You see yourself in everyone without the need to criticize them or yourself. Change your thoughts and live beyond judgment. And don't see yourself as bad when you falter in this view, or as holy when you succeed. Keep in mind that you're a mix of infinite openness and finite limitations, as we all are. So sometimes you just need to notice yourself judging without then judging yourself. Change the way you look at yourself. Change the way you look at other people. If you pride yourself on having a fixed mind, realize that it relies on conditioning that generally shows up as prejudice. Instead, see yourself as flexible, since being open is the higher virtue. Pride yourself. Listen, pride yourself on extending your goodness and kindness to all sides. Sometimes I ask myself here, Pops, are you boasting that you're doing such and such and you're the... No, I'm filled with more pride of myself today than I have ever in my life. I'm really proud. I didn't feel great this morning. Could have stayed in bed and called this one in. I'm so glad I didn't. I'm proud of myself for showing up. I'm proud of myself extending. And I need to say those things, not because I want you guys to hear Pops doing dry brags. I want you to hear Pops self-affirming, planting seeds of positivity about himself. Oh, I could sit around and tell you all the negatives, but I'm working to get rid of those. So those aren't the ones that I'm propounding. Those aren't the ones my mouth wants my ear to hear. Be proud of yourself. Be willing to say I'm proud of myself. Be willing. What are you proud of? Be proud of it. Be proud of how you treated the person when you were kind. Especially if you were responding to cruelty with kindness. Ooh, that was a good one. I really did that. I didn't bark back. I didn't flip them off. I let them have the lane. I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't consider why or why not. They're an idiot. They're going too fast. Just take the lane, bro. I'm proud of myself. I used to flip that guy off. Pride yourself on extending your goodness and kindness to all sides, even when they oppose your pre-programmed learning. Begin to see yourself as a person who notices instead of judges. Avoid taking one position and sticking to it no matter what the circumstances are. Rather, be in harmony with all people, especially those whose opinions conflict with yours. And remember to include yourself when dispensing kindness and non-judgment. Include yourself. We don't judge. We notice. Notice with the sage's mind that no matter what you notice, it's still all part of the Tao. It's all inclusive. No matter what I notice, it was intended for me to notice that. Not judge it, not call it good or bad, evil or good, but to notice it. And understand that it's part of the Tao, part of the path, part of the way. Give me 5 people that were good with reading some stuff out of the Tao this week. Have a great day, Kim. Thinking of you. Next week we're going to talk about Secret Santas. Give me 5 people that like that we were reading out of. We're not doing mysticism, Eastern religions, anything like that. I'm not putting a dot here. I'm not shaving my head. But I want to live more like nature. I want to follow a different path than the one that I was taught. I want to learn a new path. One that sure sounds healthy to me. Sure feels healthy when I practice it. It sure does. This is where I want to be. I want to be here with you guys, my friends, every day. And I want to practice and encourage one another. New path that isn't linear. Taylor's got it. I want us to practice this together. I need your guys' help practicing. I can't practice alone. None of us can. And some of you like to have whole households around you. Over here it's me and myself and Ruff until I get out in the world. You guys have amazing opportunities to practice. Many of you. The big practicers are those that are providing home and health care to loved ones. Michael Patterson is tremendously a group effort. But those are the providing home and health care to the parent, to an elderly parent, to a sick child, to a handicapped child. It gets tedious. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend. But get ready to be giving kindness. Get ready. Imagine these people are going to look at you in about 2 weeks and go, what had changed? You used to be a little cranky. You snapped at me a little bit more. And now I love the new you. How's that? You're meant to be what I'm supposed to be helping today. I want to thank you for being here, that I can learn to help someone today in a bigger and better way. There's so many things that we can do differently. Judgment in your families, allegiances in your family, they don't have to be. You can decide. If somebody else continues to have a problem, that's their issue. Don't take it personal. They're not bad because of it. That's their position in the Tao. That's their position in the mathematical equation of the universe. What you are is you just became a positive. You're no longer a negative in the equation. You're a positive in the equation. Now you're adding to the universe and to the Tao instead of subtracting. So for you mathematicians, this works out good too. Derek Anderson, I'm getting blamed again. Thank you guys. Thank you. I'm going to go practice what I'm preaching. Until Monday at least. I'm giving myself the next 3 days. I'm going to say goodbye to Freddie. Fred, you were the name of the bird on Beretta. We just found that out. We just remembered that. Would you guys go have a wonderful weekend? Thank you for being here. Thanks for dowing around with me. Dow. Thanks for going to Dow with me. I'm loving life. I want to give more. I want to practice better. But that's linear. Better and worse. Pops, this stuff's, it's hard. Every time you say it, you're like, wait a minute. I'm so programmed. But I'm changing that program. So are you guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys here next Monday, 9 o'clock, unless the creek rises and the sun doesn't shine. But I will see you guys. Thank you again. Have a great weekend. 4 things. Be impeccable with your word. Don't forget you're hearing the things you say too. Not just the person you're speaking at or to. Don't take things personal. Everything is a part of the Tao. Acceptance. And a way to not judge, but observe. No expectations. No assumptions. Those are earth-shattering, soul-stealing. Creates all of these. That's what creates the allegiances. Having expectations. Making assumptions about them. And do your best. We'll do our best all weekend long. Had a great week. We're getting closer to Christmas. Next week we're going to talk about a Secret Santa program, okay? As I scroll out, give me 5 people that are interested in figuring out what we're going to do for Secret Santa. $10 limit. Regifting will be widely promoted. Regift. And we're going to do it the week and the 2 weeks after Christmas. So Secret Santa for us won't impede on your Christmas. And you can even wait till Christmas Day. Get something like a fruit cake that you don't want. And you can re-gift it to your Secret Santa. That's my plan. Okay? Especially if it's a fruit cake. Whoa. Okay? So we'll be able to, we're gonna make it easy on you for the old Secret Santa. But it'll be fun. It's just a way to connect. Okay? Getting rid of my fruitcake, Cleanie. Have a great fruitcake, right? No. I'm not doing fruitcake. Okay? Fruitcake, if it lands here and somebody gets it from Pops, I'm telling you up front, it's a re-gift. Okay? I'll pay the postage. Excuse me. Have a great weekend, you guys. Taylor Reese and Jesus Christ in Australia. Sarah Bear and Rodmond and Mello. Have a nice weekend. Eggs, I love you. Snapping away, my good friend. I love you. I love that we watch Kojak together. Cleanie and Glassic and Niffy and Jesus Christ and Skip Trippendale. Good morning, Skips. Derek Anderson and Taylor and Daniel and Herbie Von Werby Broken Furby Kabop and Jay Hurst and Niffy and Jesus Christ is alternating. Rodman and Mike Barabal, Taylor and Derek Anderson and Nipper Mama, Anthony Hunt, Daniel and MVP. I didn't see you here, MVP. Thank you. Peace out. Oreo, love you. Have a great day. Laura, have a divine day. Jesus and Cleanie. Cleanie, you're a fruitcaker. Derek Anderson, Mike Barabal, Pacey's, Jesus and Mike, and Nippy, and Skip Trippendale, Calico Meow Kitty, Cleanie, and Mike, and Jay Hurst. There's Jay. Nurse gonna send okay. That sounds good. Sue Little, Daniel and Derek and Roddy and Kit Kats. Kit Kats doesn't want me to complain. Cleany and Pacers. And Laura likes the fruitcake. Never mind. Frosty Ride Share. So when it's cold, you get a free ride. Emily and Pacers and Cyber Jolie, good morning. Pace, ditto on that. Nerves, Jay Hurst and Niffy. And Pidgey Page, Taylor, Daniel Martinez. There's Daniel. There you go, it made it. Congratulations. Derek Anderson, Wizzy the Wazio. Jesus, and Daniel, and Dan. That's okay, Dan, I got you. And Vaggie, you have a wonderful weekend too. Pops, peace, love. Be kind to the unkind. And be a child.